And through everything, we've hardly probably touched on the corners of your life because it just is so amazing.
Oh,
like
well, I've lived so long, it'll take another week to tell you all about those.
Can you share with us what has been your biggest inspiration in life?
My biggest inspiration. That has to narrow it down to one thing. I don't know that I can do that. I've had so many incredible teachers. I've mentioned Marty, and I don't even know his last name, who was the original Tai Chi instructor. Malcolm Swaby, who opened doors for me that I didn't want to open. Heidi Cross was an amazing teacher. I studied with her for 9 months in 1980. And I've traveled Sun Bear, Wabin, the Bear tribe. It's in early 80s. Mary Manon Morrissey with the Living Enrichment Center in Beaverton, Oregon. I studied there. And people, you know, I learned something from so many people. My best friends, Andrea and Hanneke, I learned from them all the time. My students, people that come for readings and classes, I'm always learning something. In fact, oftentimes I say something to someone and I'm rambling on, telling them what I'm seeing, and there's like little fingers going, "Are you listening?" Okay, I think this is for me too. So my spirit guides, Archangel Michael, I identify with very, very closely. My guides and teachers. So don't ask me to have a simple answer there, because you're not going to get one. They're vast.
Beautiful. And any words of wisdom, final thoughts, anything else you want to put out into the world?
Okay. A lot of people get involved in psychic development or tarot cards or even Ouija board or tunnel vision. This is the way to do things. My approach is that you work on yourself. You work on anything that you have in your consciousness that is preventing you from being all that you can be. And you will find darkness, blockages, whatever it is that is preventing you from enjoying your life to the fullest, without digging in there and looking for what you own in your subconscious mind, whatever you want to call it. You're never going to get out here. And if you get out here, you might end up being really messed up, because there's just as many spirits out there that don't know what they're doing as there are people on the planet that don't know what they're doing. So just because you contact a spirit and the spirit says, do this, doesn't mean that that's a good spirit. And our mental institutions used to be filled with people who contacted spirit that were not good. So we have to be logical, we have to be realistic. We are responsible for our thoughts, words, and actions. And if we don't take responsibility for our thoughts, words, and actions, then we've got nobody to blame but ourselves. And I've met up with, I call myself a spiritualist because that's the religion that is closest to what I believe. But I've met up with mediums who have given some really weird advice. And they say, well, I didn't say it. It was Spirit that said it. Mm. And my theory is anything that comes out of this mouth, I have to be responsible for. So just because a Spirit said that you need to wear a red shirt instead of that lovely blue one you're wearing, I wouldn't say that because that would mean that I would be taking away your right to choose what color shirt you're wearing. Mm. So it's really, really important for us to be accountable. Mm. And we are responsible for everything we think, say, and do. And if something is in there that is preventing us from being responsible for what we think, say, and do, we got to find it. We have to dig it out and look it in the face and get rid of it out of our consciousness so that it is no longer preventing us from being all that we can be. And that's what I want my clients and my students to be, is all that they can be. I want their life to work. I want them to be happy. I want them to be healthy physically. A lot of people are doing some really harmful things to their body. And, you know, I've met so-called really psychic people who are drinking and smoking and eating chocolate bars between, you know, it's junk food and anything that they were totally irresponsible for their physical form. And then they expect it to be a clear channel of love and light. I don't think it works that way. So my words of wisdom, getting back to your original question, is you are responsible for your thoughts, words, and actions. And unless you are really accountable in your life, you're not going to be happy and healthy. And so that, to me, is the true spiritual development. It's this true sense of you are a divine spark. You are accountable for what you create. You're part of the creative force of the universe. And so you are accountable for what you create. And unless you're accountable, then you're irresponsible. So when you make a choice, you have to struggle with it until you find out whether that's the right choice for you. And if it turns out to be the wrong choice, you've got no one to blame but yourself. So that's the accountability that I feel really is absolutely essential. And no matter who your spirit guides are or what kind of psychic thing you do, you are still accountable in your life for what you do with it. And I've had a lot of disagreements with people over the years who don't want to be accountable. Mm. And I hold that really strong in my perception of reality. And so my choice is that I chose to be here in this house, living this life right now, and I better make the best of it.
And you are. Beautiful.
Having fun doing it, that's for sure.
Good job.
And it's a privilege and a joy to share what I've learned, because I look back through my life and I was miserable. I was incredibly disconnected. And I always say that I lied for the first 40 years of my life because I didn't want to tell the truth of what I was feeling or thinking, because I didn't want to be weird.